So, yeah, so if it's like very small, it doesn't have kazait, so then you're going to make hamotzi anyway. But the thing is, you're not going to do birkat hamazon because it's too small. You know what I mean? But you have to make hamotzi anyway. Any bread, no matter what the size is, you have to make hamotzi. Any bread, except if it was cooked.
1 second. When you make hamotzi, you're supposed to get us in the way.
I'm sorry?
When you make hamotzi, you're supposed to send over there.
Right, but that's only if you ate a kazait. If you didn't eat a kazait, you don't make, right? We already spoke about this before, if you remember. We talked about this, one time. So again, right, to reiterate the whole thing here, the way it works is like this, one more time, right? If you cook the bread inside the soup, what does that mean? You put it in the pot. Even for a minute, 2 minutes, whatever, that's cooked already. Because it changes the taste of the bread. So that's already going to be, if it's kazait, each piece is kazait, it's going to be hamotzi. Less than kazait, each piece, it's going to be mezonot. If you didn't cook it, right? It's always going to be hamotzi, no matter what. That's the way it is.
Rice and vegetables only. No bread, no nothing inside.
So if it's rice and vegetables, as we said before, it goes according to the majority. If the majority, right, is rice, it's going to be mezonot. If the majority is vegetables, it's going to be hadama. I'm sorry, if the majority is vegetables, it's going to be hadama. Right? You make one bracha only, right? That's it, because it's one dish. You don't make 2 brachot on one dish, hadama and mezonot. No, it doesn't work like that. You make one bracha.
So rice and vegetables.
Right, majority. You know what's majority?
Yeah.
The bigger size. You're going to make that bracha.
50-50.
So 50-50. It's not going to be 50-50. It's always going to be majority, but the truth is, if it's 50-50, you should bless on the rice, because the rice satiates. It should do mezonot. You know what I mean? But it's not going to be 50-50. What are you going to do? Put it on a scale? Wait. It's not going to... It's always going to be one is a little bit bigger than the other. You know what I mean? You just have to see it with your eyes. It's just with your eyes. Which one is the bigger size? So...
How about sushi?
Oh, good question. Yeah, we spoke about this one time, but the truth is, that sushi has rice, right? And it has fish. And it has vegetables. So here also, you go into the majority. You know what I mean? If the majority is fish, it's going to be shakol. If the majority is rice, it's going to be mezonot.
How do we know what the majority is?
You got to see with your eyes. Have to have good eyes. Go. Maybe get some glasses.
Okay.
You got to be able to see with your eyes. That's the whole thing, right?
Meat and vegetables.
Yeah, same thing. Majority, right? Which one is bigger? More meat or more vegetables, right? You make the bracha. Mechila. If they can ask, you can ask also. Why not? It's equal rights. You know what I mean? No discrimination over here. I'm sorry, Mechila.
If you buy the sushi, you want it because of the fish. You don't want it.
Doesn't matter what you want. That doesn't go like that.
It's a vikar.
Right. The ikar is the majority, according to Shulchan Aruch. Right? That's the way it is.
What you want.
No. When it comes to this case, we don't care about what you want. It's a matter of majority, right? Rov. We're going according to the rov. That's the way it is. When it comes to these foods, kinds of things like this. Except, as we said, right, mezonot. Even if it's not the majority, we still make mezonot. Why? Because it's more chashuv. It satiates you, than the other foods. So let's say you have rice and schnitzel, right? Rice, schnitzel. What's the bracha? Mezonot. Why? Because the rice satiates you, The schnitzel, not so much. I mean, it's nice, it feels good, but the satiation comes from the rice. So if the rice is the majority, right, we bless mezonot over there. Usually it is, right? There's usually more rice than schnitzel when you have a plate, right? So that means it's gonna be mezonot. Yeah. That's one thing, right? Sometimes we go according to majority, it depends, right, on the situation. But when there's mezonot in there, not rice, I'm talking about other mezonot, right? There it's always going to be mezonot. That's usually the way it goes. Yeah.
Chicken soup, only chicken and water.
Broth, chicken and broth, right? So what are you going to make on that? Shakol. Because the chicken is shakol and also the broth is shakol. Everything is shakol there. Right? So that's clear, right? But if you have chicken noodle soup, then it's going to be mezonot because you have noodles in there. Macaroni. Huh? Doesn't matter. Still, it's going to be mezonot because it's more chashuv. Right, but not in mezonot. In mezonot, even if it's not the majority, still it's going to be the mezonot. Why? Because it's chashuv, satiates you. Masbiya. Okay, Rabbi. So you get the point, right? That's the way it is. I'll give you one more case and we'll stop here.
Yeah.
So according to what we just said, right? What's going to be the bracha on French toast, right? French toast. What's going to be the bracha? If it's bigger than kazait, it's going to be hamotzi, right? Because it's a big piece there, So that's clear, right? If it's small pieces, usually it's not small, right? When you make French toast, usually pieces are large, right? So therefore, French toast is hamotzi for sure. Why? Because it's bread. What do you think is in there? What is that? Cake? It's not cake. It's bread. So you have to make hamotzi. Baruch Adonai leolam, amen, amen. לפי חנינא בבקשה אומר, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לעזוב לישראל, לפיך אפילו בא להם תורה ומצוות שנאמר לא יחפץ, למען צדקו יגדיל תורה ויאדיר.